So do you like sad stories? Do you like sad stories with happy endings? Today, you're gonna get both. This recording was actually made in December 2019. I had a roof leak and a window leak, and it was really troubling, and I have a happy ending. Stay tuned to the end because I have a hot warranty tip for you. Let's roll with the video from the vault. So you might be wondering what this thing is. A new personal fashion statement? Nope. This is the, what do you call this thing? Bezel that goes on the fan. Look at that. You might be wondering why the bezel is not on the fan and around my neck. And that is because we sadly have had a roof leak. Had a little problem with the water coming in. In on the MaxxAir fan is where the leak was coming. Really appreciate you tuning in today. My name is Scott. I am your host. And that's why I'm standing on the side ladder of my Winnebago Travato, is to kind of examine the situation up here and to clue you in on what's going on and what I plan to do to remedy it. And to add insult to injury, the side window, there, you guys see that one, it too was leaking. I've had zero problems up to this point. I've had my Travato for a year, been living in it full time since February 2019. And that's what this channel is about, is sharing with you, my dedicated viewer, learnings from the road, van life, the RV lifestyle, the places to go, the people we meet. And I really appreciate you tuning in today. Hopefully it's not too breezy to get this picked up, but just wanted to give you a quick synopsis of what happened. And let's go inside to do that because it's windy. So I was on the way back from the Texas area and came through a huge, massive rainstorm. I was in kind of the Panhandle, Central Florida area. Stopped at a rest stop to sleep. It was middle of the night, Saturday morning, and was laying down in bed, taking a snooze at a rest stop. Luke was with me in the bed, which is great, my cat. And when I got up a couple hours later, I noticed, well, I stepped on the wet rug, and then I looked up and like, what the hell? And there was water dripping in through this area right here. Maybe things just, it was a perfect storm, and that's what caused the water to come in there. But I'll show you this kind of rippling effect on the sealant, and you can see that. And just having been up on the roof, I don't really see a break in the tar material that's used to cover these you know, holes and intrusions into the walls and the roof that the Winnebago makes to put these products in. I don't readily see that, but I did buy some silicone to kind of remedy this for a temporary stopgap until I can get a dealer appointment. So this is the again, I got the G floor plan, so this is the bedroom window, and I do have it ajar right now just to let a little air in to suck it out the top. I'm in Florida. Today's cool, but it's been pretty hot in the 80s. And this is what I'm talking about on this sealant. See here how it's kind of squeezed out? Come on, camera, focus. It's squeezed out and it kind of undulates up and down. That is somewhat new. You guys can see that? Yeah, there is a good spot. So it's kind of pushed out there, and then it kind of seals back in, and there's just, that is somewhat new. I'd say the last couple months. That was not like that before. It was really nicely clean. And it's just this window. This one you can see is really nice and clean across the top, right? Oh, that camera's picking that up. Here now, weirdly, it's coming out a little bit here. But in general, this is, it's coming out down here a little bit too. You can see that, right? But in general, this one's in pretty good shape. This one has some pretty interesting inconsistencies in the seals. I think what it would require is a dealer to remove the window and reattach it and reseal it. Sounds like a big project to me. Maybe not. I just don't know what's involved with these windows, but they've proven leak-free 100% up until just this recent 5 days ago. this is a bit of a concern. I'm hoping it was a one-off weird rain event that caused it, but the fact it happened at all is pretty bizarre to me. Again, I've washed this rig a lot. I've had it through a high pressure truck stop wash. Don't do that, by the way. And it didn't leak at all. So this is somewhat new, and I don't have a good conclusion today other than here's how I'm going to fix it with this sealant. So I'm looking at this really carefully. I've got the camera mounted to the ladder here, and I'm looking at this. You guys can see that? Yeah. This sealant has really, I would say, decayed. It just is just falling off. You can see that, I hope. And there is definitely a hole here, a gap. Now, in this exterior amount of sealant, now whether or not that goes all the way, that hole goes all the way through, I don't know, that gap, but it definitely was missing some right there. This is what I'm using. I picked this up at Home Depot. Again, it's silicone, not caulk. So to the viewer that recommend I have some of the silicone in my rig tool kit, thank you, because that's what I'm using. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bead against this. I don't want to plug this up for the dealer to remedy, and I sort of want them to see it, but I think it's just this little spot right here. Okay, so I'm putting just a teensy bit along the perceived spot. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. So again, what I've done is just put a little bead of silicone right along this little bit right there, and that's where there definitely was a gap. There's kind of like a little tiny gap here, I don't know if you can see that, but I think it's intact. And up on the roof. And I've given a quick look. This is the corner that it was leaking on the inside, and I don't see any visible breakage in the seal. There's this one little spot there that's kind of interesting, but man, I don't think that actually went through. And again, I'm not seeing anything that indicates a break in the seal. And I've looked at this is the solar input jacks right there. The wine guard, that all looks good. That looks good. This is the bathroom vent, exhaust fan. This is plumbing stack ventilation, as is that one. And the drip was coming from this front corner of the bezel. That's where the wood was the most wet, which I would think was the water coming in from the outside. So I'm a little perplexed. The MaxxAir fan was actually closed tight that evening. So again, it just might have been a perfect storm of, it was a little bit of a grade because it was a rest stop. And it might have just been enough puddling up that, let me show you this. So there's a little tiny bit of a lip. This is the fan, so it's open now. And then there's this little bit of a lip right here. And I assume there's a seal down below. And maybe if the water had puddled up and was getting in there, it had a little bit of a intrusion. And there you can see it there. But I gotta believe that there's a good seal underneath that. Again, the fan is super tight. So I think what I'm gonna do is just replace the bezel and monitor that carefully. It all dried out just fine. The window though is definitely I think a compromised seal there. We'll get an appointment at the dealer for that. So let's go put on the bezel and call that until later, and stay tuned and we'll monitor that situation. So let's put this in, and this just slides right in. You know, one of the cool things about kind of doing some of this kind of stuff on your rig is getting a peek behind the curtain and seeing what these things are, you know, put together with and how they're put together. And it just, again, kind of reminds me of the magic of these rigs and what they do and what they enable us to do. Because this truly is a tiny house rolling down the road at 70 miles an hour with all the comforts of home tucked into a really tiny package. So that's it. That wraps up our little issue and temporary solution until we get to a dealer. Again, not catastrophic unless this leaks every time it rains, in which case that's a big problem. Well, the drama with the roof leak, I'm attributing to the fan, although I can't tell for sure, continues. I'm in home base, Florida. It's just about Christmas Eve. Well, it is Christmas Eve, and rained. Had a super huge rainstorm last night overnight. And, the rain was just pouring in pretty vigorously. I'll show you that inside, and it soaked the mattress again, coming in on the passenger side. Now I thought I had remedied that with some silicone. I didn't. I put silicone right here, and I put a little bit back here, but it was really coming in heavy through the window. So this morning in the rain again, I actually put silicone all the way around this window frame. It looks absolutely horrible. I went down here and around. I didn't do the bottom. Actually, I take that back. It looks like I did. So I did seal the entire window, except for this part right here, because it was really coming in last night around that window. There's Kyle. What do you think of this problem? I went to I have an appointment. So I'll go to Winnebago's website to check that out. I actually Googled Winnebago Travato dealers, a repair or something like that. Or dealers, I think it was. And this shop popped up. Waits RV Center in West Palm Beach, which is literally 15 minutes up the road. They are super cool. They already cleared some space today. Again, Christmas Eve. I have an appointment there at 1 o'clock to deal with this roof leak issue. I'll bring this up, but I think I may have solved this on my own. And I think I'm going to do the same thing with this window when it dries out, because that has the same look of the other window. So let's look in here and I'll show you the ceiling fan. Oh, first we want to do is say hello to Luke. Luke! Luke! So the rain today, not last night, was gentle but persistent rain for about an hour. You can still see this thing is, drenched with water, right? So what the rain seems to be coming in from this spot right here. And what I've done is try to minimize the wicking effect of the wood and this felt material here that's in the ceiling, vinyl ceiling, by sticking the rag up in the corner so it wicks down, and then putting a Ziploc bag behind it. So again, trying to minimize the amount of wicking to the side wood and the ceiling. So the good news is that with that same rain this morning, after I put the silicone on, this is bone dry, which is excellent, and I'm thinking I solved that problem. But this is a real problem. I can't find the leak, so we're gonna let the dealer have a shot at it. Told him I live and work in the rig, and I'm kind of high and dry here. Well, I'm certainly not high, and I'm not very dry without their help. So they're going to be really great. My first real big catastrophe, if you will, with the rig in over a year of ownership. Here I am at Waits RV in just outside of West Palm Beach, Florida, and they were able to do same-day service. They're actually getting the gates open right now. Say hi, Luke. Yes, Luke. So we're headed to Key West, which is awesome. But these guys did a great job, same-day service. I found them through Google search, and they work on all kinds of RVs, and they actually have another Travato in the workshop. But what they did is they discovered a couple places on the roof where there was some sealant that was compromised, so they put that up on the roof. Really just a big, huge shout out to the Waits RV team, Ashley and Ryan, and super family atmosphere here. And again, same day service. That is literally unheard of in the RV industry, nearly. So it's a Christmas miracle, and we love how that rolls. Visit these guys. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I really enjoyed making that for you. And while it was very unsettling during that process, Waits RV here in West Palm Beach, Florida, came to my rescue. So here's my warranty tip. So if you are in warranty and you don't have warranty service available in a timely manner from a Winnebago dealer. Here is my experience, and here's how I've solved this in the past. I Googled RV service repair centers in general. That's how I found Waits RV. I called them up, explained the situation, talked about their availability, my current situation, and asked for quick remedy. Asked if they were familiar with Winnebago, asked if they were familiar with Travato. Again, explaining the service, not probably on a Volta system, but everything else in the rig they're probably pretty familiar with, right? Black tanks, gray tanks, fresh tanks, whatever. Get an estimate of the cost, and then contact your dealer that you bought your RV from, explain the situation, send them the estimate, and see if they will work on your behalf with Winnebago to warranty that work to be done by that non-Winnebago dealer. And Winnebago Motorhomes has done that for me when there wasn't a service center around in a timely manner. And that real situation was with the radiator hose. So again, the tip here is Google an RV service repair center, explain the situation, get an estimate, contact your dealer, and discuss the warranty reimbursement through them from Winnebago. It worked for me like magic. Again, thank you again, Mick at Winnebago Motorhomes. That's my RV tip for you. And here's something else for you to consider. If you haven't seen my video on the ProMaster chassis radiator hose, check out that video. I'll put that down below in the show notes. And if you haven't seen my video on the warranty costs and for the Winnebago build out and the warranty costs for the Ram chassis itself, check out those two videos. I'll put those down below as well. As always, I really appreciate you watching. If you're into RV lifestyle, into van life, into places, people, this whole RV thing, please consider subscribing. Love to have you part of the success of this channel. Until we see you soon, I wish you to live happy, live free, live RV.
That's a bummer.
Luke, what do you think? Bummer, Luke?